So in the spring of 2015, we'll be offering a new course here in the college called Liberal Arts in Action. I mentioned this during our intro. Would like to get the panel's opinion in terms of ways that a current college student can basically set up their chances for success. What can you do while you're a student here at Duquesne or perhaps another university, not to ensure that you're going to be successful, but begin taking the steps to, it may lead to employment or it may lead to graduate school, whatever happens after completion of a baccalaureate degree. So Linda, I'll start with you in terms of probably being most directly connected to that in terms of students coming in your office, career services on a daily basis. What do you tell students?
Actually, it sounds easy. It's not so easy. We suggest students, well, first of all, they really do need to know what their interests are. And it's not just this isn't a one-time exercise, I want to say, but you sit down, a student really should sit down, write out, what are the things that interest me? So for you, it was anthropology and archaeology and history. So, write down those things. What are the things that interest you? And then also, what are your values? What are your personality traits? So do you like something that's challenging? What motivates you? And it really is an exercise in those three different areas. So personality traits, values, and interests. And then adding another one in are skills. So by doing that and being very purposeful in recognizing those or in identifying those, then you can start identifying the areas where you grow and blossom and find a good fit. And so again, as I said, you might come in as a freshman and be able to identify some of those, but by taking classes, by meeting people, and also getting involved in job shadow, doing internships.
Right.
You talked about going out west, right, and doing your archaeology. So by getting involved in meeting professionals and that, then students gain they gain experience, they learn a little bit more, and those interests might change, right? The values might change a little bit, and the skills are going to increase. And then little by little, students are able to hone in on what they like to do, which is really what you two have done and what I've done and you've done.
Yeah. Paula, how about for you? What advice would you offer, whether it be an undergraduate student or a graduate student looking to transition to the professional world, in terms of getting the most out of their educational experience?
Volunteer, be an intern. That's exactly how I learned. The best way on the job is to learn everything. Actually, that experience I did have, I interned in archives. I knew I liked old stuff. Let's start there. I knew I liked old stuff, but I didn't know what kind of old stuff. So I interned in archives, and I realized that wasn't where my passion was, and that because I had that archaeology background, I really did like the stuff, the 3D stuff. So when I interned at a museum in their collections management area, I knew that's where I wanted to be. So it actually helps that you try on different things. It's just the only way you can figure out where you belong. You just got to go different places. And Duquesne has a really good museum program where they give you different options: archives, editing, museum. There's so many different facets that you can go into from a museum standpoint and collection standpoint. So that's exactly what I would tell any future person who wants to start, even in high school. If you know you like history, just volunteer for a day and just to see how some things work. Museums have a lot of different ways to go about that. Education, editing, communications, development, any kind of thing is in that area.
Yeah. Jeff, you have, I think I'm correct in saying you have some children in college, or a child in college, right?
Two in college, yes, and two on the way.
So, just being dad here for what
absolutely.
do you tell them?
Yeah, actually, one of my daughters interned with my organization last summer. I agree with both Linda and Paula in terms of internships are absolutely critical. I think making connections The first thing I would say, if you were a person who was speaking to me as a candidate or prospective candidate, a student, or even my own children, is you must take control and responsibility for you and for your development and for your career. You obviously have coaches, teachers, parents, mentors, others who influence you, but at the end of the day, you need to take responsibility for you.
I think
and
that's-
that's a key. I mean, and I would also say, the other thing I would say is, be prepared to fail. Are you prepared for adversity? Are you prepared for the first no you receive? Are you prepared for the first change that people request of you, either in your work or in some facet of what you do? I think the other thing is, make connections. Do not be, I don't mean to suggest that introverts versus extroverts matter necessarily, but I do believe that you have to be proactive. You have to be somewhat relentless to the point of being a little bit of a pain in the butt. But you have to demonstrate, and I think you used the word before, one of you did, about passion. The worst thing that somebody can do when they're coming in to see me about an internship or a job or advice is to be lackadaisical, to appear not to care, or to think of it as a job. I think that I can measure a lot of things as you evolve in your career, but at the beginning, I really can't measure your performance because you probably haven't had much beyond your school, but I can look at your drive. I can look at commitment. I can look at passion. I can look at integrity. So I say, the things I would say is it's all about you. You really have to start the process, start the journey. 2, you need to count on people around you, make connections, don't be shy. And 3, have passion and be prepared to make a few mistakes. And Bill Cowher, Coach Cowher, always used to say, it's not success that defines you, it's adversity and how you respond to it, and I believe that.
And if I can add something too, having an internship, as you had said, and you did it in archives and you thought you would like it, and you found that it wasn't for you.
Right.
I think those kind of internships are just as valuable as those
Absolutely.
where you find exactly what you're looking for. And it might not even happen in an internship, actually, but all of those steps, I was listening to your story, and I thought all those steps that you took were so important to get you where you want to be.
Right.
And I think that oftentimes students think, oh, this is what I want, and I'm going to get there right away. But they really have to take baby steps
Patience.
to get there. Patience, right. But the passion is absolutely essential.